Second Star, Episode 00B.
Hello.
Whoa, okay.
Hello? Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
And I can hear myself.
I'm in Max. You are listening to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. I'm in Max. Pursuing the RPG hobby with reckless abandon.
Surprise!
I'm surprised. Are you surprised? I'm surprised.
I'm very surprised.
It's a Tuesday
Tuesday?
and not Monday, but we have people that need to make characters and find out what kind of awesome stuff they're going to come up with, so I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So, I'm Dave. I'm going to be running the Second Star Star Trek Adventures game starting next Monday night.
Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
soon.
I'm nervous.
Yeah,
A lot
me
of good
too.
people in the game, and it makes me nervous every time.
Oh my god, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm nervous because, like, I was watching the guys this last week, and I was like, holy crap. I know some Trek, but this is like, you guys are like next. When they say next generation, you guys are next level. Like,
I'm not nervous because I did all the drugs. Actually, I have no idea what's going on. I didn't even know, I didn't even remember we were doing this, so I unintentionally am trolling literally everyone with wearing all Star Wars. That's what we're doing, right? We're
I
here
died.
for a
I
Star
was like, your
Wars game?
subconscious
Yes.
must have known that you were going to troll us tonight. I feel it.
Yeah, like, I guess I remembered from, like, a million years ago
You woke
that we
up
were
and you're
doing
like,
this.
oh, I guess I'm going to pull out Star Wars stuff today.
Yeah.
So, like, something's in the stars.
Yeah, okay.
So, officially, to my left.
Hi, I'm Mac. I'm producing. I haven't done it before, and that's a thing I'm going to be doing for the show. The end.
That's
Like, share, and
awesome.
subscribe.
I'm so excited for you.
And
Oh, hi. I'm Terry Gamble, and I'm here. And I'm excited.
Accurate. Nailed it.
Yep.
we're going to find out who they get to be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've already had my concept since before even seeing this damn game.
You're always so good about that. I feel like Mac, like, I always love that she's
I
always,
over-prep.
she, like, really, that's why you're good at GMing, I think, too. Like, she really thinks about the stuff, like, way, way, way in advance, and I'm like, I'm the one who shows up. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing, and what is it about? Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. Now you guys know.
All of your secrets are revealed.
That's my secret. I'm always unprepared. But that's where you get the best stuff.
In my best
sometimes.
self-defense, I took the Myers-Briggs test years ago for a job, and they were like, hey, it came back, it was like, speaks well on topics, knows little about. And I was like, you mean I can BS for, like, hours? Yep. Yep. And they made me, like, do, like, orientations for new, like, employees after that, because they knew I could talk to people for hours and tell them answers that may or may not have been true.
That's the thing of beauty, and I appreciate everything about it, and you.
So, since the game will be starting next week, we're getting everybody locked into a character, and then I can furiously try and come up with something cool in a week.
Oh,
I
you
have
will.
a story. I just need to figure out where everybody's going to slot into the beginning of
You
it.
have a story question mark? It's like somebody typed a
No,
question mark on the teleprompter.
You're right. I
there.
did go up
Like-
there. Yeah, I did. But I do have the story sort of laid out. But the hardest part for me is where to start stuff. Like I kind of know what's going on, and I
Start at the beginning.
sometimes not though. Sometimes it's interesting to start already in there, like Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah, like in the middle of
Like
So
just mention some things
Star
that happened
Trek
in the past.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
Cool. Nailed it.
you're gonna go on a mission to save some kind of cetaceans.
Sure,
sorry.
yes, have some.
All right. So, the first thing you get to do is you need to decide what type of character you want to play based on the common Federation races of Star Trek.
Oh my God, there's so many things to choose from, and
So
I know Mac already knows what she's. What
Yeah.
is it, Mac? I know you're like.
type android. What's up? Because I love Data. Holy shit. That's one of my cosplays because Data is the best.
Agreed.
So, as soon as we started talking about this, Max said, I'm going to play that game, and I'm going to be an android. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, there was no options given. It was just literally, this
And
is
then
what is happening.
when I actually got the materials, I was greatly relieved to find out that they did have rules for making an android.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know.
Otherwise, it would have ended badly. I would have rioted.
Well, I would have just made something up,
Yeah.
but now that someone has probably tested this, it might work better than what I come up
I'm
with.
very excited
Oh my gosh.
because I got an interesting combo coming up.
Oh, do you? Oh, it's going to be something fun for you, I'm sure.
Yes.
Mac likes to cause trouble, and I love it.
That's all I ever do.
She's like, how can I throw wrenches? Just be ready. Don't be nervous. Be ready. Okay, maybe be nervous.
Oh no, we've already played games.
been down
he's-
that road,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
freaking!
you're so ready.
Coin, Tales from the Loop.
And I got to be part of the
Tales from the Loop.
got to be part of the secret robot part of the game.
That
Another
was
player
so
before the
good.
game even
That
started,
was so good.
he said, "I want to be like a Small Wonder type robot," and nobody knows, including myself.
Oh,
"It was."
And I was
crazy.
like, "Fantastic!"
that's freaking
"It
brilliant.
was so good."
So
And
like
I played,
10
I played
episodes
the
in, that's-
sad dumpster fire character in that game, and so this one I'm doing something that's not the sad dumpster fire character. I'm playing
An
against Type.
accomplished.
I was going to say against Brand, yeah.
Yeah, Terry knows all about my dumpster fire characters from 12-sided stories.
I love it. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm looking through. Andorian. An aggressive, passionate people from the frozen moon. Oh my goodness.
Andorians are rad.
They're beautiful and rad. Bajoran. A spiritual, dauntless people from the planet Bajor.
Yeah.
Bajorans have lost, like a baby Bjorn? Bajoran?
No.
Okay. Have lost much. I guess it's different, you guys. I'm sorry. Lost much after decades of occupation by the Cardassian Union.
It's a whole culture of baby wearers.
Can you imagine
That's all they're
how,
known
like, that's
for.
the planet? Like, you just show up and it's just like, everyone just has, like, I don't know. It's like very kangaroo inspired. Betazoid. I don't know. That's what I imagined Australia, like, anyway. When I imagined Australia before I went there last year. The peaceful.
That all the people were kangaroos.
I don't know. They really did surprise me there. The peaceful Betazoid people, it was not what I expected. Betazoid people hail from idyllic Verdant world. Oh, that seems too nice. Okay. Denobulan, hailing from the planet Denobula. They are gregarious, inquisitive people who have been allies of humanity since 2130s. Do we have someone else playing a Denobulan? I can't remember. Can you remind me
No.
what everyone is
So
doing
far,
again?
we have a human, a
Right.
Trill, and
Wasn't he like
and then a Vulcan mix.
and a half Vulcan, half Klingon.
Yeah.
This is a great
That's
combo.
going to be so intense. I like that he went for that.
Yeah.
But, like, that sounds like a lot of, like... That's smart. That's a lot of as-ifs for the improv people out there. A lot of, like, things to play with. But that's a lot of,
Yeah.
like...
If
very-
I had not picked an android, though, I totally would have picked a Trill.
The Trills are cool.
And then one of the things that I love is the fact that we already have 3 NPCs that viewers have bought
That's great.
that are cool, that are going to be fun to play around with.
Do we know what they are yet? Or are you going to tell us later?
There's a Cation, like cat people, science officer, I believe. I didn't bring that notebook.
Yeah, I remember hearing science on there.
Then there is a Delton security officer that's really angry about not getting to have sex.
Sorry. I feel like that's a lot of the plots of Star Trek, though, anyway. Isn't it a lot of, like, I want that thing. or
Sexual
that-
attention.
Yeah, there's so much tension every scene, and I love it so much. I've just been rewatching Next Generation. I was just like, I forgot how much tension there was. Like, it's so
I gotta
good.
go back and watch that.
It makes
again.
me
I
so
love Next Gen
happy.
so much.
It's so good.
And then I think we have like an antisocial Andorian.
Ooh.
That's pretty rad too. Andorians are cool.
Yeah.
Plus they're blue.
And then I
This is so
at
great.
the convention
This is so great that you did this.
at the convention 2 weeks ago now, I crowdsourced and had a bunch of people run through the character creation to make other crew members on the ship.
Nice.
Because anytime you get a person in a room with 8 other people that like role-playing games, they're going to come up with way cooler ideas than me if I just sit in the dark and
By yourself.
try and do
That's
the
so
same character over and
smart.
over
Although I
again.
just imagine you sitting by candlelight scribbling out character
Oh, yeah.
sheets.
With a quill.
Yeah, just kind of rocking slightly, frothing at the mouth.
one of those- it's absolutely one of those Charles Dickens desks, you know, from Christmas Carol.
Yes. I was just
Great
like,
snow on the window.
May I please put another piece of coal on the fire?
no.
My children coming up and asking for food and me being, not now!
Wait, are you Cratchit or Scrooge? Or
Both.
This is I Love Gaming with
Yes. All right. I think I might be a Tellarite.
Awesome.
The stout, hirsute Tellarite species comes from the Tellar Prime, a temperate planet in the Alpha Quadrant. Theirs is a culture noted for being abrasive and argumentative, with stubborn pride and quick tempers and little patience. I think this could be lots of fun. However, this is only a superficial view. While Tellarites are argumentative, it comes from a sense of intellectual honesty and rigorous skepticism. To a Tellarite, no idea, concept, or person is beyond challenge or analysis. So I'm judgy as hell, is what I'm getting, and I like it. And any notion that cannot stand up to scrutiny is an unworthy one. So I'd be like, we're going to go where? Why? What? How? No. Tell me more.
So you're just being you.
I'm sorry, what? I was hoping I wasn't going to get seen so hard, but thanks, Mac.
Yeah.
And even
Oh, yeah, I see
insults,
this shit.
failing to respond in kind. I know, I guess I'm playing like very judgy characters this time. I think I'm on a judgment streak right now because I feel like a couple of my other characters in some other games right now, I'm into being judgmental today. So
I
let's
feel
do
like
it.
that's going to be, this is another game I'm going to have to bring my Savage AF fan to.
I'm
Star
cracked.
Trek savagery.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best kind of savagery.
Savage. All right, great. I have
Savage
control,
Atanagra.
finesse, and insight for my attributes.
Yep. Well, we'll get there.
Okay, sorry, I'm already ready to.
You're-
okay,
yeah, you're
look at
jumping
me.
farther. So-
okay, I'm going to let you lead.
First things first.
Hold on, I'm going to judge it. No, sorry.
Well, you can argue with me.
No,
you can be
no,
like,
not yet.
Why? Why can't I go ahead?
Not
Well,
yet.
You kind of need to know why.
Okay.
Species on your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You can fill that in. Name if you already have one, but that's the hardest part in the world for me. So
Oh, I
get
named
that if
mine
you-
like weeks ago. So, because, well, you have data and lore and lots of short names, and because of the nature of the function that my character serves on the ship, their name is Trist, Trist.
Of course. And I will be Nishin. Nishin.
Failure.
Ha ha ha. I like that you went there. That's actually not where I pulled the name from. I just look
if you
at
put like
things.
an apostrophe in there, it can be like control.
Yeah, it's K apostrophe NTRL. Now we've
I'm
ruined
not,
it.
I'm not sorry.
Nishin Alos. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Next up, you get to pick a species trait. So on your list, there's going to be 2 different traits. You pick one.
Ooh, I can either have incisive scrutiny or be sturdy. Oh, I mean,
So it's these two here, the requirements?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I could either have a knack for finding weak spots in arguments, theories, and machines, like to glean information from them, learning about things by how they respond to pressure against vulnerable points. When you succeed at a task using control or insight, you can gain 1 bonus momentum, which may only be used for the obtain information momentum spend. Or I can be sturdy and have a blend of physical resilience and mental fortitude such that you're difficult to subdue.
I think
You
you
reduce
made up your mind.
Cost to resist being knocked prone by the knockdown. I think that's going to be more helpful, maybe,
Okay.
in like fights and things potentially. So,
So on the traits line up top, you can just write which one you decide to
Sturdy.
pick.
What you
So I'll
got?
go ahead and read mine off. Polyalloy construction. While appearing extremely lifelike, even simulating breathing, blinking, and other autonomic process, I can't today. I can't even. A Soon-type android is not organic life. They are highly resistant to environmental conditions, reducing the difficulty of tasks to resist extremes of heat and cold by 2, and they are immune to the effects of suffocation, hard vacuum, starvation, and thirst. Further, their sturdy construction grants them resistance 1. Further, there's so many furthers. While they can detect damage in dangerous conditions, they do not experience real pain, gaining +3 resistance to non-lethal attacks, and being entirely immune to any penalties or hindrances caused by pain. Damn, that's a lot of things. Or, positronic brain. A Soon-type android is normally created with a positronic brain that allows it to process information made available to them considerably quicker than a human. The character gains 1 automatic success on all tasks using reason in addition to any generated by rolling.
ooh,
Oof.
these are both very good.
They are. One is like all of the things.
All of the physical.
But I think I'm going to go with positronic brain because of the character concept.
Sure.
So... the very exciting writing process, which is really good for
Ooh.
podcasts.
It's perfect. They love hearing about it.
Yeah, you can just hear the light scritches of the pencil.
Of the pencil? Well, mine happens to be a
They
High
can
School
pretend
Musical
it's the-
pencil, so I just thought I would share.
They can pretend it's the quill from
Yes,
Cratchit
in the
/
dark.
Scrooge.
Oh, yeah.
I'll turn off all the lights. Just
Oh,
light
let's
one
play
candle.
10 candles.
10 candles character creation.
Oh my
Yes!
So, at the convention, I played in one of our common listeners and friends that we play with down there, Chris Gray. he decided to do reverse 10 candles. But it's an 80s John Hughes movie
Was
where
it the
everybody
16
gets
candles?
things that they want. So every time you succeed, you got to light a candle. And then we did a montage of like good things happening around
Oh
the
my
table.
gosh, that sounds amazing.
That's
And
so
it was
How fun
so
was
much
that?
fun. It
That's
was
so great.
beautiful.
Aw.
The montages got a little long with 16 candles to light.
Well, yeah, but that's still really rad.
But yeah, it was so much fun.
I love it.
All right.
All right.
Next, we can move down to the next little section for attributes and disciplines.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
everybody starts with a 7 in each attribute, so you can just lightly pencil that in, because those will go up and down as we go
Okay,
to
I'm
things.
just going to imagine I wrote 7 in there.
That's fine.
And
I can
'cause
give
we're gonna-
you
we're-
another sheet if
well,
you
because
want
we're going to
later clean
adjust
it
it
up.
in a minute anyway.
There's going to be a lot of adjusting.
Okay.
So sometimes it's easier to actually write it and just erase and write.
Well, fine.
Just saying.
I want to be difficult.
You make your choices in life. That's great.
You thought I was going to, anyway, it's fine.
And then for disciplines, they're all each start at 1.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not as exciting as 7.
No.
Okay.
So pretty much every time you do a skill check or anything related to an action that we have to roll dice for, you take one of the attributes that makes sense and one of the disciplines that makes sense, and you add those two together.
Okay.
Then you get, in this case, you'd start at an 8. And you roll 2d20, and the target is to either meet or go below whatever number you added up to.
Oh, God, rolling low. No, that's my weakness in games.
So
No.
as we increase these, your chances of success on things will go up, but they can be mixed and matched in
shit.
lots of different ways.
Okay.
So, for example, the discipline called con is actually like piloting.
I'm sure everyone's done that, right?
Yeah, but it's good.
Is that why
Every
they
time.
name it that?
It's
Like
good.
they had to.
You have to.
So that's actually piloting something, right? So you could mix con with daring to do close, tight, scary maneuvers with asteroids, like Han Solo flying through the asteroid field.
I'm sorry, what?
Ah,
You guys got told again.
But
Parsecs what?
you might have to do like fitness and con to try and just keep yourself awake for 18 hours piloting a ship through a dangerous bit.
Oh, fuck that.
Right.
But Android, so.
But yeah,
You're
but
fine.
just examples.
I know.
Yeah, so on your racial
Is this what they
sheet,
give you too? I'm sorry. This
Yeah.
is so pretty. This book is so nice, you guys.
It's
It's beautiful.
For those listening, I'm
amazing.
sorry you can't see it, but it is stunning. And there are bookmarks. And the
in
bookmarks are
the
like
3 Trek
Yeah.
colors.
in the Trek colors.
It's just wonderful. And all of
God.
the layouts are all L-cars.
yeah.
So thought through. Excuse me.
The thing that I really
Sorry.
like a lot also is that there's the artwork in here.
Gosh.
It's not all people using phasers and killing folks. Mm-hmm. Of course.
I mean, there's a lot of that, though.
But there's totally artwork of people like, I'm going to do science and do things. This is
Active
Star Trek.
science.
Yeah, that makes me excited.
Science
Rad.
of things.
There's actually a whole mechanic in the game for formulating a scientific theory and testing it. Like, even if it's a made-up problem, like if I'm like, oh, there's a plasma storm and you don't know what to do about that, you can be like, all right, well, I think it might be this or this.
Wow.
And then in my head, I choose which one of your theories is
Sounds
true.
right. Oh.
And then you guys have to do some rolling to see which one you're going to test first and
my
all that. Yeah,
gosh.
it's cool.
Amazing.
We are scientists. I like it.
So, on your species sheet, it gives you an attribute list. You get to add the +1 or plus whatever to those attributes.
Oh, okay.
All right. So control, I now have 8 then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fitness, I have 8.
I also have 8 in fitness. Look
And
at us getting our
reason, I
fitness
have
on.
8.
That
And everything
seems
else
right.
remains 7 at the moment.
Insight, I also have 8 now. Awesome.
Then, talents.
Ooh,
So, you have a list of talents on your sheet. No, I totally messed that up.
that's okay. Those are the I thought it was
Yes.
the trait,
Yep.
but those are talents.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yay!
I promise.
okay.
It won't be the last time I've screwed
So
something
should I
up.
put that down in talent then? So I chose sturdy for my talent
Yes.
then anyway? All right. Strike that. Reverse it. It is now
Alright,
a talent, not
so
a
but you
trait.
still pick one talent, right?
You still just pick one of those talents. now.
Okay, I'm going to move that to the other part of my sheet. No.
Upside down. Put
No.
it on another part of the sheet. Cool.
It's a lot of
still-
spaces for writing stuff in that area. Do you get stuff later on as well?
You will get more.
Cool. Positronic brain.
That's very cool.
And then
I want a real positronic brain right now. Like, I really.
it would be
I mean, I'm glad I
pretty
have
handy.
emotions, like human emotions or whatever. Or like, but
Oh, see, I turned that chip off.
that is where we differ, my dear Mac.
There's so many problems with it. It's just fucking malfunctioning all the time.
You just want to reboot. I know. All right.
So
Push the button for the hard reboot.
for the trait, you just write your species.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
easy. Oh, because there's all these things that I have underneath the traits that says that I have a
Yeah.
keen sense of smell and a high tolerance for many common drugs, toxins, and inebriants. True story. Tellurites don't get drunk, just feisty. Sorry, that's like.
Ooh. I have good traits, too. Should we read those off?
Sure.
You want to read yours first?
I was almost done.
right.
They also have excellent eyesight and more acute perception of distance, depth, and dimension than humans. That's nice because I really don't, but that's nice.
So the Soon-type android, the physical and mental capabilities of a Soon-type android are superior to that of most organic or cybernetic life forms, allowing them to ignore or resist effects like hard vacuum, disease, radiation, oxygen deprivation, telepathy, or biochemical imbalance. However, some environmental conditions, such as highly ionized atmospheres and electromagnetic fields, can have a severe effect. Further, Soon-type androids do not naturally have the capacity for emotions, requiring additional hardware to process and experience any feelings. The legal personhood of the Soon-type androids is somewhat disputed, though a landmark case involving Lieutenant Commander Data establishes their right of self-determination. Yeah!
Pioneer. Android right.
Do not feel emotions, which makes this more fun. Yeah.
Android right.
All right. Now we move on to the environment. Now, this is sort of the environment that your character grew up in. Now, I know it's not growing up in your case, but
Yeah,
but
constructed in.
it's still it's the time that you spent after first activation. So, like, Data spent time on that colony planet before the crystal entity thing
yeah,
came.
yeah.
That whole So, like, that's sort of his
Sure.
environment upbringing before he ended up going off to join Starfleet and all that stuff.
Okay.
So you have two options. You can either pick from the list I'm about to read, or you can just roll a d6 and see what you
I
get.
think all the guys just rolled, didn't they?
Pretty much
I
everything
wanna
they could,
just
they just
roll.
rolled.
I want to
Okay.
roll as well. Let's
All right,
do it.
go for it.
Oop. One.
The homeworld. So you grew up on the homeworld of the Tellarites.
Homeworld.
6. Feast and famine
Uh,
here.
This makes a lot of sense. Another species homeworld.
Okay.
So, since you got homeworld, your character comes from the world that birthed your civilization. You've been surrounded by cultural and spiritual legacies your entire life. Species homeworlds are often utopian and idyllic. I mashed those two words together. Serving as the platonic ideal of that species' culture. They also exemplify aspects of a culture's most revered traditions and serve as the heart of that civilization's legal and political landscape. At this step, you gain a single value. Now, the value has to... It's really open to being creative, but it's supposed to be something that sort of reflects your growing up on your homeworld.
Got it.
So, a couple of examples of values. We can make it work.
Not my value.
Everybody poops.
That's very special.
It's very specific.
And
Arts
I
are the
don't actually poop, so because Android. So
Well, if you eat
so that's a
something.
lie. Why would
Oh,
you do
well,
that?
they said everybody.
Oh!
You're a computer, right?
Ooh.
is super exciting.
See, savage.
Gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry.
Arts are the intergalactic language.
Oh,
So it's just something that your
Right.
character believes that's sort of a
like with the
core-
sample one here, they have all ideas must withstand scrutiny, and I love that. So let me think on that.
Sure.
Do you have one, Data? I mean,
I'll go do math. So, another species world. Your character grew up amongst other species. They might have lived amongst a small enclave of their own kind, or maybe they were orphaned by some manner of disaster and raised by aliens. Whatever the situation, the character has unique perspectives on their own species and on those that they were raised alongside. You also get to come up with a value.
Okay.
So I guess the first step for you is just trying to decide what species you grew up with.
You know, I think just to really double up on the whole emotional distance thing, I'm going to go with the Vulcans.
Rock on.
And it just seems like there's a lot of logic to be learned from that. And I feel like value is maybe pen is mightier than the sword.
For sure. Now, mechanically, the way these values work is if you're trying to do a skill roll and it makes sense that one of your values applies, you can use a point of determination. There's those 3 dots there. So you can choose, hey, that makes sense with the pen is mightier than the sword. I'm going to use a determination. That gives you an automatic critical success before you even roll.
wow. Okay.
Because sometimes you need multiple successes for
Yeah.
something difficult.
Sure.
So that's what those values work for.
Okay.
That's also how you earn determination back, is if you act in accordance with one of your values, kind of like fate points mechanically,
Yeah.
that you earn those points back and then you can spend them again.
Awesome. My value is nothing is sacred.
Perfect.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Step 2, you get to increase one attribute by +1. Since you grew up with Vulcans, it has to be a Vulcan-based attribute.
Okay.
So control, fitness, or reason.
I think I'm going to go ahead with reason.
And then you get to do another one of the same attributes you got to raise before.
Okay, so either control, fitness, or insight.
Yep.
I think insight. Or maybe control. Control. Someone's
And-
power hungry.
It's useful at this point to start to formulate an idea of what sort of role you want your character to end up in. Like what crew member position amongst the main cast of a Star Trek show do you kind of want to end up with? You don't have to throw it out there right now, but
No,
just
no, I'm
ponder.
thinking about it, and I'm also want to go over what the other guys are too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
We have a captain and an executive officer
Okay.
and an engineer.
I must be so mad I'm not.
Yeah. So a chief engineer,
Okay.
a captain,
Oh yeah,
and
they
an
had the
executive
Scotty
officer.
guy. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The chief engineer being the half Vulcan, half Klingon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool. Okay.
I already know mine.
What are you?
Counselor.
Really? Okay.
That tickles me.
Okay. That's like the one job they keep saying like automation will not be able to like
Yeah.
handle.
And not
Like at all the AI like
and all of the
articles
emotions
right now.
and everything that are being dealt
Yeah.
with. Counselor.
Oh my gosh.
So can diagnose like a motherfucker. No
But
emotional
no
connection,
empathy, like,
no
no.
bedside manner whatsoever.
Oh my gosh. Real life. All right.
All right.
I've been sitting on that for so long.
That's
like that was
crazy.
like the first thing. I'm like, I'm going to play an android, and they're going to be the ship's counselor.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Next, you
Cool.
get to pick.
Maybe I want to be the doctor then. The medical doctor.
That's fine.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
I'll
Don't-
wait.
Yeah, just keep it in mind for now.
Okay.
So you get to pick either command, security, or science under attributes and give them a +1 for growing up on the homeworld.
Okay.
You get to choose any discipline. So any one of those and give it a +1.
Okay. I guess I'm going to put it in science.
I also added science.
Well, it's either that or medicine.
Blinded me with science.
I mean, they're both
All right.
good.
Next up is upbringing. So, you were born and formative years were on the homeworld or on Vulcan. Next is going to be sort of where you got to be a person. So, adolescence into young adulthood. Legitimately, it might be where you were when
Oh,
that
sure.
case came down.
It's
and you
amazing.
became a person.
Yay!
So-
Thanks, Data.
Again, you can roll a d6, or you can choose if you want me to read out the list.
Go for it.
All right. 6.
Diplomacy and politics.
Interesting. Okay.
3.
Agricultural or rural. So,
I mean, that makes sense with all of this, actually. It's very diplomatic when she's telling you that your brain is broken.
so now, we'll do diplomacy and politics first. Your character has been exposed to the complexities of political thought and the nuances of diplomacy since you were young.
Wow, that has been knocked out of whack.
Sorry.
Oh.
That was my head.
All right.
Is that better?
Yeah, I just looked over and realized. Yeah, we're fine.
Ah!
Ah.
We have to practice. So we all go the same direction.
Oh, and we need to cue up the Wilhelm. Yeah, we need that to happen.
Perhaps because a family member was involved in those fields. Or adoptive family
Yeah, it
member.
would have to be.
So you must choose whether you accepted this upbringing or rebelled against it.
I accepted it.
Okay? So you get to increase your control by 1
Okay.
and your presence by 2.
Okay, control by 1. And presence by 2.
Agricultural or rural. You grew up surrounded more by nature than people. In rural communities, on the frontier, or somewhere else distanced from the bustle of cities. You might have been heavily involved in agriculture, growing real food to supplement synthesized or replicated meals. And then you choose whether you wanted to accept that upbringing or rebel against it.
I rebelled.
Okay?
I wanted to be in the city.
Very good. You increase your presence by 1 and your reason by 2.
Awesome.
Okay. So now, you can choose to increase either con, security, or medicine.
I will take medicine on this round since I wanted looking at being a doctor, maybe. Okay.
And then you get to come up with your
Medicine
first
by how many? 1?
1. Yes.
Right?
Oh my god, we're gonna be the worst medical team in history. You're gonna be like so rough and tumble and like just suck it up, and I'm gonna be like, I have no emotions to help you
We
with
might not have
anything.
the best bedside manner, but everyone's going to be tip top.
Right.
I know, it's gonna be amazing.
You don't get a lot of complaints when you're actually helping people.
Right?
Like, very
Do
well.
your job.
Even if they don't walk out
Jobs.
going, wow, that was so wonderful. They're like, wow, I'm alive.
Gotta keep them red shirts going.
So you now get to come up with your first focus over on the
okay.
right side. And the focus is something that's sort of just an interest for your character. So emergency medicine, animal handling, toxicology, ground vehicles, those are all the sort of examples that they have for an urban or agricultural rural upbringing. Athletics, even.
I'll do emergency. Emergency meds.
And then over here, you get to increase command, con, or security by 1.
Okay, and con or security. I'm gonna go ahead and increase con, I think.
And then you come up with a focus, the ones that they list here: composure, debate, diplomacy, espionage, law, philosophy, or Starfleet protocol. But you can come up with something entirely on your own, too, as long as
Yeah.
it sort of meshes up with your upbringing.
I want to take a page out of Data's book. That Data is always trying to improve and learn emotions anyway, and maybe do like poetry
Okay.
or like it's like arts.
The humanities.
Yes, arts and humanities.
Sure.
That's amazing. Like synthesizing good art.
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's a whole thing with Data. I don't want to be Data, but I want to take some of that.
Some
Just-
inspiration.
yeah.
Okay. So, Now, you each get to pick a talent.
Ooh.
Another talent, but they come this time from a list.
Okay.
So you can decide you want to choose your other racial talent if you want. But you could take a minute and browse through.
Go through these talents here.
So I printed that one out so that we have 2 copies.
Schmancy. All right,
There
I
you go,
could be
Mac.
bold. I was like, that's too easy.
Okay.
Cautious.
So this would replace it, though. Is that
No.
what you're saying, or
No, you get an additional.
Oh,
This is
additional.
an
Sorry.
additional thing.
I was only half listening because I was also looking at the chat. I haven't produced before.
It's fine.
You're doing great, Mac. I'm sure. I feel it.
So,
Constantly watching.
You can choose the other one of the 2 from your racial racial
Yeah.
talents if you decide you want to do that.
I might do that, actually. It makes no sense.
Oh, I can pick it just from this the first talents list, or does it?
It
or-
can come from the other ones, but those are sort of separated out by department. So if
Got
you're thinking
it.
about medicine, you might want to go to the medicine.
I'm going to take the other one because I really
Got it.
wanted both of them.
Sure.
So I'm going to go ahead and take my.
And
my
that's
second
totally
one.
fine too.
Triage, quick study. I think. This feels very similar to my other one too. Quick study. When attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar medical procedure, which is to treat an unfamiliar species, ignore any difficulty increase stemming from your unfamiliarity. And incisive scrutiny is being able to find weak spots in arguments, theories, and machines alike to glean information from them. Learning about things by how they respond to pressure against vulnerable points. I like that too, though. All right, I'm gonna also double
Okay.
down on my
Cool.
tell it right talents. Incisive scrutiny. And do we get other talents along the way, or is that it?
I believe you might get more.
Okay. Just curious.
So if you need more space, feel free to flip over your sheet.
Okay.
Or
Yep.
that's all good.
Okay.
Next up is your time at Starfleet Academy.
Yay!
So this was the one thing that they didn't roll randomly because they all sort of had an idea of where they wanted to go, as you kind of do.
Yeah.
So it's if you want to roll randomly, the choices are either you're on the command track, the operations track, or the sciences track. So in the case of medicine and counseling, it would be the sciences track for both.
Yeah.
So the sciences track is primarily academic. Included in a distinct curriculum is Starfleet Medical, training doctors, nurses, and counselors. You now get another value
Awesome.
Okay.
that has to do with some kind of beliefs that you developed during your time at Starfleet Medical.
There's always an answer.
Okay.
You can always fix it. That sounds too much like hers, though. I was like, if you mess it up, you can still fix it. You break it, you fix it.
Yeah, I feel like she doesn't think any problem is unable to be solved when it comes to health.
But you're both very smart, I think. I mean, obviously you're smarter. Whatever. It's like, I can never beat a computer.
Hey, I have personhood, damn it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So rude.
What do you got?
I almost
you got
forgot.
samples?
There are some samples, yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Inexperienced and idealistic. Threw out the handbook and wrote my own.
Yep, that's right.
Nailed it. I like that these could also work against you. Like the
That's
idea, like
absolutely
there
the
is
point,
always an
yeah.
answer
Yeah.
might not be that there is an answer sometimes.
That's hilarious. All right, great.
All right. Next, you gain 3 more attribute points.
Great.
So you get to choose how you want to distribute them.
Okay.
You can put 1 in 3 different ones. You can put 2 in something and 1 in another. You can't put all 3 in one thing.
Okay.
I'm going to bump up my reason.
I'm going to bump up daring because I haven't had anything additional
I'm going
to
to bump
that.
up control.
Yeah, I'll probably also bump up control. Okay, and then I get 1 more, and I'm going to put that in fitness because I just feel like we're going to be fighting at some point, and I want to be ready. Working on my fitness.
That's going to be what happens between the two of you. Like, you're just going to end up in the desert with those weird stick blades.
It's either that or it's going to be like reenacting They Live. the frickin' street fight.
All right. Next, you decide what your character's major is going to be. In this case, either science or medicine. You get to increase that discipline by 2.
Oh, awesome.
So, being a doctor, medicine is the easy choice.
Yeah.
A counselor's a little more difficult.
I feel like that's still medicine, though.
Yeah, absolutely it can be.
So I'm going to bump that up. So that gives me 3 in medicine.
You then get to select your 2 minor subjects.
Okay.
So 2 other disciplines that you decided to minor in, and those are free for you to select anything.
Awesome.
And you get 1 point in each of those.
Okay. I'm bumping up engineering and science.
I'll do con and science.
Then you get to come up with 3 focuses.
Ooh.
So here, I'll read through the list for the science track. Anthropology, astrophysics, botany, computers, cybernetics, emergency medicine, exotectonics, genetics, geology, infectious diseases, linguistics, physics, psychiatry, quantum mechanics, trauma surgery, virology, warp field dynamics, xenobiology.
And you said 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, I could pick like psychology, sociology, stuff like that. That makes.
I got infectious diseases, trauma, you said surgery, and then can you go through again?
Sure. Anthropology, astrophysics, botany, computers, cybernetics, emergency medicine, exotectonics, genetics, geology.
I'll do genetics.
Okay.
I think I already did emergency medical for something else too. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool.
Psychology, sociology. What else do I want to put in there?
And the way focuses work in gameplay is if you're making a roll to do something and one of your focuses applies to what you're doing, you get to count any success you roll as 2 successes.
Oh, double a success.
If
Okay.
it's something that you already
Now,
studied,
does it-
that makes
talented
sense.
in.
Does it hurt if 2 characters have the same thing?
No.
Because I'm thinking like emergency medicine might be something that would come into play as well. Just like it's that snap, have to take care of the problem in the moment.
People can get hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes the doctor is the one that gets hurt.
hurts
That's true. That's very
sometimes.
true.
It is true. That's the worst. Who's going to be there? Who's going to doctor the doctor?
And now you get to go back to the talent list.
Yes! I love talents.
All right. More talents.
Okay, so we go to the medical.
What page does that actually start on?
138, it starts on 135.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Doop, boop, 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 boop.
Doctor's orders. Field medicine, first response, quick study, triage.
Oh yeah, I think I need to take computer expertise, and that's
gonna
going to
go-
give me a bump to my.
I'm going to go to first
Stuff.
response.
So
All right. First response. And that is medicine +3. And
this gives me a +2 to science.
nice. Whenever I attempt the first aid task during combat, you gain a bonus D20.
I'm going to do that.
Nice. Further, you may always succeed at a cost with each complication you suffer, adding +1 to difficulty. of healing the patient's injury subsequently. I'll take it.
Huzzah.
I'll take these chances. All right.
When we're done, you can totally keep that. By
Oh,
the way.
really? Okay, sorry. I'm all like
No, it's
saving because
no,
I
that
can go home
makes
and
a
read.
Great idea for sure. Let's see. Now we're on to your career in Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
So you have graduated from Starfleet Academy. Now you have to decide. This isn't a role thing. This is a decide. Do you want to be a young officer? That's somebody fresh out of the academy, maybe first posting on a starship. An experienced officer that's been out a while, has been in the fleet, maybe several ships at this point, or a veteran officer that's just been around forever.
Young.
Okay? So you get a talent called Untapped Potential.
Woo!
And I'll read this one to you. Your character is inexperienced but talented with a bright future in Starfleet. You may not have or increase any attribute above 11
Okay.
or any discipline above 4 while you have this talent.
Oops.
No. But if you're already higher than that on something,
Okay.
you
Then
can redistribute that point somewhere else.
That's a.
You don't lose it. You just have to rearrange it.
Okay, but I'm allowed to put it anywhere else I want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whenever you succeed at a task, if you bought any extra dice with the momentum mechanic that we could talk about in a minute, you get an extra die when you roll. And you also get bonus momentum back for whatever you get on that die.
Okay.
So it's sort of just young luck. You're out there
Yeah.
being ambitious.
Yeah, learning what it means to diagnose people without any empathy.
But
And studying the arts and humanities. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, you've got a lot
I
going
just
on.
don't understand them.
at the same time, there's also a chance that you get to add to the threat mechanic by doing that.
Yeah.
Because your inexperience means that you might make mistakes and cause things to get more complicated.
Yeah, and you got to learn and work on the neural pathways and all that.
And you cannot be higher than a lieutenant junior grade in rank.
Okay.
So you can either be an ensign or a lieutenant junior grade.
Okay.
I am a veteran.
Yeah. Veteran officer. You are wise and experienced. You draw upon inner reserves of willpower and determination in a more measured and considered way. Whenever you spend a point of determination, you get to roll an extra die, because it's some special die that I'll have when we're actually playing. If you roll an effect, you get that point of determination back immediately.
Oh.
So every time you really push yourself, there's a chance that you can recover that lost point right away.
Awesome.
And you have to have a rank of at least lieutenant commander.
Okay.
So lieutenant commander and commander are the two options, because there's only one captain on the ship.
All right, so I'll be a lieutenant commander, eh? Is that it? All right.
And you both get to add another value that applies to either being brand new in the fleet or having been there a long time.
Enthusiastic?
Sure.
Ain't nothing new.
Sure.
I love this. We're going to be like this weird buddy cop thing.
Oh, for sure.
That ain't nothing new, kid.
Yeah, and I never play characters like that, so that's kind of fun and different for me, too.
Like young and like,
Yeah, they can be good, I guess, if you know what that feels like. I've heard that it's a thing that people enjoy to feel.
I love it.
All right. I'm tickled. I'm excited so much.
Yay!
All right. Next up, we get to use the D20 and roll on the events during your career table.
Ooh.
So there's 20 different random things that might happen, and if you both get the same number, I'll make somebody re-roll,
Okay.
because I think it's more fun to have.
All right,
Different arrays.
where does that actually go on the sheet?
It doesn't have a specific spot, but it'll have mechanical effects that.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to note it down, like in the margin or on the back, just for you in your head to remember, like,
Okay. All right.
this random thing happened to me.
4.
4, you helped negotiate a treaty.
That seems right.
Shockingly right.
Working
for
in politics and diplomacy.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. 17.
17, a special commendation.
Ooh. I mean, I've been around long enough. I better have gotten one.
At least by now. Come on. So, either that, or maybe you're just so stubborn and just really confrontational that people are like, no, don't you don't want that much.
I
shit."
deserve all the awards.
Bleh.
All the awards.
So, negotiate a treaty. Your character was part of a delegation that helped negotiate a treaty, an agreement or alliance with a culture outside the Federation.
Okay.
You get to decide what culture was that treaty with, and what was it about. And you can take your time and think about that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That seems like something that might even be beyond character creation.
Yeah.
I want to think about that.
Think about it. Just let me know at some point,
Sure.
and then we can maybe use that.
Okay.
But at the same time, rein yourself in and be like, we negotiated Pax Imperia, and all of the races have come together.
Oh, no. It wouldn't be anything that crazy.
Right. So, you get to up your control by 1,
Okay.
and
that
your
puts me at
command by 1.
Okay.
And then you gain some kind of a focus that has to do with diplomacy, negotiation, politics, something like that.
Negotiation, I think, works really nice.
Sure. 17. A special commendation. During a crisis, your character helped save the lives of several colleagues, helping them to safety. You earned a special commendation. You get to decide what was this crisis and why was the mission in danger, and what are the repercussions of this, and are the details of this event on record.
Oh.
So
That's
you
a
can
good
think about those
question.
for a while.
Like, did
Yeah.
things like go crazy? And I'm like, yeah. I totally handled it, you guys.
Or was it like a secret mission? Did you end up saving people on a Black Ops kind of a thing? Or
Oh, it's
I know what
Mac?
you're poking at. I know
right,
what's happening.
right though.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I'm a little bit shady. I like it.
you get to increase your fitness by 1,
Okay.
and any discipline by 1.
Ooh,
Nice.
so many things. Reason. Give me another reason. All right, great.
And then you also get another focus that has something to do with the event and the aftermath of the event.
Okay.
So like athletics or survival or something like that. But you can think about it a while, because you might want to think about what happened and then figure out something from there. That's fine.
Okay. What happened?
And then we get to do it all again, because more than one thing happens to you in your career.
Yeah.
What? 14.
14, a new battle strategy.
Okay.
Interesting.
Not fighting.
12.
12. Betrayed your ideals for a superior.
Not surprising.
All right. So, new battle strategy. In combat with a hostile force, your character devised a new strategy or tactic. You get to decide who the battle was against,
Okay.
and then was it in space or on the ground, and what sort of strategy was it.
Okay.
You get to increase your daring by 1 for your creativity under pressure. And then your security goes up by 1 for your combat experience.
Okay. Interesting.
And then you also gain another focus, somewhat related to combat tactics or lead by example or...
Ooh, I like lead by example. I feel like that ties nicely to the pen is mightier than the sword, that they actually talk their way out of a combat and, confuse the enemy by
Sure.
using words instead.
Betrayed ideals for a superior. This was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And totally along lines of the shadiness.
Like, right on.
Yeah, it's good. Your character was placed in a situation where they had to choose between a trusted superior and your own ideals. And you chose to follow the superior. You get to decide who was this superior, what did they ask you to do, and how do you feel about it now? And then what were the repercussions of this? And again, are the details of this event on record?
Oh yeah, nothing's on record for sure. I feel like that's like a common theme for my character. That's why I'm only a lieutenant commander, not a commander, I guess. Still, I definitely fell in love with the captain, and like
Oh, for sure.
whatever like he wanted, and then there might be a kid out there somewhere. We don't know.
I had to go off to the Star Trek nunnery for 6 months. And then I came back,
Can
and
you
everything's
imagine?
fine. The last question you get to decide is, in the end, were you right?
Ooh, always.
Oh man, you're gonna be a terror.
So, mechanically, you get to increase your presence by 1,
Okay.
and your command by 1. And then again, you get a focus, something like persuasion or investigation or something that has to do with whatever event you decide this was about.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then you get to come up with one final value. And it can have something to do with some of the events that came up here, or just something that has come up in your head about what works for you.
You gotta love yourself first. 'Cause oh wow. This just got real personal, you guys. I don't want to betray myself again.
I'm gonna say always more to learn.
All right.
All right, cool.
Now, you can take a look at all of your attributes. Do you have any that are over a 12?
Nope.
Okay, don't have to worry about it. Do you have any disciplines that are over 5?
Nope.
Don't have to worry about it. Perfect. You get to increase 2 of your attributes by 1 point each. But you can't go over 12.
Okay.
And then you get to increase 2 of your disciplines by 1 point each, and they can't go over 5.
Okay.
In your case, the numbers are 1 lower.
Yeah.
So 11 and 4.
Yeah.
But you can increase 2 of each.
2 of each. Okay.
So 2 attributes and 2 disciplines.
And can I put? Does it have to be 2 separate ones, or could I put 2 points into one?
2 separate ones
Okay.
this time.
Cool. Switch. Great.
Okay, that's nice.
This is going to be so fun. These characters are already fun. I'm excited.
I love anything that has a Traveler-esque character creation.
Cool. Done.
All right. Now, you get to figure out what your stress level is. So you take your fitness attribute and your security discipline, add those 2 together, and just sort of write it in on the little orange line next to stress.
Okay.
And that's basically the amount of damage you can take before you're knocked out.
Okay.
Awesome.
You guys already did ranks, that's fine. The nice part about Star Trek is equipment is ubiquitous. You're just like, oh, we're going on a mission, I need a phaser. I have a phaser. It's not like,
Sure.
I have to go to a dungeon and acquire a magical phaser.
But can we?
No.
Oh.
You can find some kind of crazy advanced
out.
technology in a cave, but it's not going to be a
Right.
dungeon, and
Right.
it's not going to be a magical anything. Yeah,
It's going to feel like
Huzzah.
science magic.
right. Significantly advanced science, great. Magic, not great. So, on your own, you can sort of think about like relationships that your character has. So if you have family, the ship you're on is not going to be like a Galaxy class ship with families on board.
Yeah.
But do you have family on a starbase somewhere? Do you have relatives back home? That kind of stuff. Ponder it. That's all you.
Okay.
We're not going to be warping around everybody's home right away to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on.
All right.
The ship is going to be called the USS Barbican.
Yeah.
Assigned to, and I forgot to bring it, I'm sorry. But this came with a super awesome map of every star system that's ever been in Star Trek.
So great.
Like, this is half of it.
Yeah.
The other half is,
That's so cool. Oh,
Beautiful.
so it's like the alpha,
oh
beta
my God,
quadrants.
I love it. This is dope.
The main part of the story is you guys are picking up out here, Narendra Station,
Okay.
made famous by the Next Generation episode with the Enterprise C, the one that was destroyed by the Romulans defending the Klingon colony. That happened out here.
All
So
right.
that's sort of what cemented the Klingon Federation alliance. But beyond here, this Shackleton Expanse is the area that this game very wisely came up with for GMs to play around with,
Amazing.
because it's uncharted.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because if you actually try to play a game only over here, people are going to go,
Gonna run into everything."
actually. And
We want to boldly
is
go
it,
where no one knows what's going on.
Is it like one of the deep space stations, or what?
yeah, it's not a full-on starbase. It's not like space dock at
Yeah.
Earth size. It's more of a deep space kind of a smaller space
Cool.
station.
Cool.
But it's frequented by Klingons and Federation folks. The Romulans are also close by, and basically all of the major powers are pushing out this way,
Okay.
as there's not a lot of unclaimed territory left. Like, it even gets weird with the Klingons, because they sort of are like, oh, well, after this whole alliance became a thing, the Federation went, this is ours. Like, but out here, it's pretty much unexplored space, and it's got some weird anomalies that have prevented, like, automated exploration. So the starbase out here has 3 other ships that have been assigned to start exploring this area.
Okay.
And then you guys are out here for the specific purpose of helping get I got to get my pseudoscience voice on. Verterium cortinide, which is used to make warp coils. This game is not super far after Wolf 359, where the Federation fleet was just annihilated.
Okay.
So part of it, the reason to push out here is look for more resources to help build up a fleet again and be more secure. Because the threat of the whole Dominion thing on the other side of the wormhole into the Gamma Quadrant is out there. Voyager has just been lost in the Badlands.
Oh my gosh.
That's the time period.
Goodness.
We've got to save the universe. I mean,
What was
basically.
the ship info again? You said it was the Barbican.
Barbican.
Barbican,
Amazing.
it's going to be a Akira class ship,
Cool.
which I can show you a picture.
I would love. This book is very cool. I see why you wanted it. I even like how it smells.
That new book smell.
It smells fresh.
So it's this one.
Perfect.
So nice.
Being polite.
So it's kind of like the updated version of the Reliant from Star Trek II. Like the new, better armed, better equipped
Perfect.
ship version. And it's got a lot of swappable features. Like, it was built to be modular, so if you're on a one type of mission, you can stop back at a starbase and change
Yo, we're
things
going to
out.
trick this
Modify it.
out. We're
Yeah.
going to add some fins, and maybe some hot rod details.
We could put some flames on it.
That makes it go faster.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what I think.
But mechanically speaking, the ship becomes interesting because it sort of helps in any role you're making if you can figure out a way that the ship can help you. So if you're the pilot, the ship gets to roll a die of its own for con, or engines or whatever, and that can add to the successes of the pilot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or it can add to the weapons officer, or if you're trying to do research with the computer, it gets to add another die and give you more successes.
That's awesome.
It's pretty fun. Trying to think if there's any other mechanic. Oh, momentum and threat. So momentum is a mechanic that when you make a roll, if you have extra successes, they convert into momentum dice.
Okay.
And they're just out there until a scene is resolved. And other players can use them. If they don't make a roll, they can use momentum to buy another die and try and make it. Or you can use them to buy questions, kind of like the question mechanic was in Tales from the
Yeah.
Loop.
That's what I
So
was
you
thinking.
can use those to specifically ask me a question I can't lie about.
Yeah.
But there is the other mechanic, which is my mechanic of threat. So momentum can also buy off complications.
Okay.
So if you're in a scene where the room you're in is slowly filling with poison gas, I know it doesn't apply to you. But,
Yeah.
but that could be a complication for the doctor that's trying to stop it.
Probably.
I'm going to need you to save me like 20 million times. I can feel it already.
That's amazing.
But with enough momentum, you could buy off the poison gas and figure out, like, I throw a towel over it, or whatever. A force field or something manages to stop that from being a problem. But threat, I can gain threat points, and I can use them to add complications to a scene.
Okay.
One of the examples that I love about threat is I was watching the Geek and Sundry Star Trek actual play that they did, and the GM at one point, the players are all just having this whole discussion and they're not making any progress, and he's like the situation's getting worse and worse for them the
Yeah.
longer they argue about their course of action, and I was like,
Yes.
I love that.
chaos, Bring it.
Wow.
so they work almost the exact opposite of momentum.
Okay.
But the neat part is the momentum pool grows and it helps the whole team.
Got it. So we can share momentum with everybody at
Yeah.
the table.
If you don't have a way to use it right away, you can pass it on to the next person that has to
That's
make a roll
great.
or anything like that.
That's more like fate that way too. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything major else we should talk about.
Yay.
Unless you guys have a question.
No, I'm ready.
No,
to,
I'm
ready
stoked.
to play.
I'm ready to, like-
Monday.
Is
so.
there any specific Star Trek-y thing that you really, really want to see in a game?
I know. It's like it's just.
Across the universe.
Or conversely, is there any Star Trek trope that you're just annoyed with and you don't
No,
like?
I love it all. I love
Okay.
I love the tension. I love the cheese. I love all of it. Like I want everything, and I want to like meet all the like different life forms, and I just want to like see how far out we can get out there and what trouble we can get into. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited just about the character interactions and everything that's going to happen with that, and hopefully we have like a 10 Forward-esque location.
Yeah, I'm sure.
'Cause
There's got to be something.
that's lots of fun.
Or mess hall or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be quite as swanky loungy as
Well,
10 Forward,
sure, but something
yeah.
of that nature. would be
A
very
public
cool.
gathering place that serves
Yeah.
fake alcohol. For sure.
Synth ale. Oh yeah. What up?
Sounds great.
No, I'm very excited.
Cool.
Yay.
So, like I said, I thought we'd be done pretty early, and we are.
We are.
it.
We did it.
But now, almost everyone has a character, and I'm super stoked.
Almost everyone who's still
There's
missing.
one more
Yep.
secret surprise entrant that'll show up at some point,
Ooh. I like surprises.
and then we'll find out more about that.
Okay.
And then the big drama of the first game. That's what I'm excited
Yeah.
about. Because that part I have all figured out. The other thing, I will say, if you decide to read through the book, don't read to the GME section in the back that talks about an adventure.
Oh no, that's the only part I read.
I know. Because the last 2 games I've run on the stream, people have really liked the fact that I started out with a pre-written sort of little adventure thing.
Yeah.
Because they liked being able to follow along with my GM notes at home, sort of, and go, oh, okay, well, when the characters went crazy and did this, in my Rifts game, when Bill shot one of the major NPCs in the face right away, it was like, oh, okay, and they're like, oh, how did he deal with that? How was that?
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
the first little adventure will be from pre-written material, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
But yeah. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 7 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
I don't ever remember if it's Pacific Daylight or Pacific whatever.
Oh yeah, because it's like PDT or PST
Yeah, I
or
don't-
PT.
yeah.
I don't know. I just say PT.
Pacific. Look it up. Use the Googles.
All right.
Bye.
We're going to
Bye.
transition into calendar.
Yes. And I-
Yeah.
Awesome.